missing me. You crawled onto the ledge, dangled your feet, looked back at me, let go, and crumpled to the ground. You laid there trying to smile, but your voice just skipped like a Nick record. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. The end of we. We crumble together like crushed wafers, broken, holy sacrament taken. The church stones lay ruined, scattered like the words that rumbled from our tongues. Safe harbors shaken like storms, it harms us, this separation. It batters us against the rocks of loneliness, small ships of self, scattered pieces of debris on the water of our salvation. Hesitation expands the corners of our fears. Our tears are wiped away quickly, so none will see the end of we.
Never to see the end of we. Well, we have certainly missed seeing you for a couple weeks, let me tell you. You're such a staple here. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like we're cheating if we continue on. I'm like, wait, you might come through the door. Chris might still be coming. So happy to have you back, Chris. Don't you dare miss another fucking day.
I'll try not to.
Also, who hasn't been here in a couple weeks, Miss Bianca herself. We are so happy that you are back as well. Come on up, Miss here.
Well, it feels good to be here.
It's good to have you.
Thank you. So, before I start, I realized that both of these notebooks were gifted to me by people I work with. So, shout out to Christina and Brenda.
Shout out to you. Wherever you may be.
This is called 100 Proof. Go on, get some sleep. Does it really have to be that kind of night? Up until the wistful wee hours in the morning, how life used to be. Back when you didn't have so many responsibilities, when dreams might as well be real, because you believed that anything was possible. You owned the moon and the stars did your bidding. The notion of freedom was not as loaded, as abstract as it is now. It wasn't entirely tangible. It was It was
this.
as it is now. It was entirely tangible, indulgent as a thick slice of red velvet cake, and you eagerly ate up the all-encompassing sweetness every chance you could. So much older, worn, dog-eared. You are here again, contemplating what was, what could have been, over a bottle of whiskey you can't afford. Only the best to soften the blow of all those years you'll never get back. Wincing as you choke back sour tears, the bitter realization stings your soul. Burns still open wounds, strength 100 proof.
Damn.
This is a working title, but it's called Masochistic Ego Stroking. This is new. I'm tired of long-winded men. They love to hear themselves talk. Think all their 2-cent thoughts are solid gold. If only they knew their stale dad jokes had rotted past the point of getting old. Yet, I still feel like you somehow know better than me. Because what do I know? My tiny feminine brain couldn't possibly hold as much knowledge as yours. You are a god among men. I ought to quit while I'm ahead. Because maybe I'd be a better companion if I was bad. Then you could ghost me for running my mouth or talking again. Things seem to shit once I opened my mouth. Wow, I repeated that same phrase.
It needs to be said twice.
I call you daddy, force my insecurities upon you. I look to you to build me up while simultaneously bring me down. Fight me harder, I can't stop until I bleed. Sensuous, symbiotic relationship is what I need. King baby, you feel like satin wrapped in barbed wire. Sometimes you're soft, soothing. Other times you hurt me. I have the scars that show my past grave indiscretions, disobedience. So what if these wounds never stop smarting? I guess I deserve it. Throwing myself at your feet this way is the only way it seems to really demonstrate my devotion, love, faith in you, and us. I give my heart, body, mind, and soul to you, yet it never seems to be enough. I never seem to be enough. I will defend you till death, give my life, just to see that you are satisfied, but even then, the way in which I meet my demise might not be grandiose enough for your standards. And that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I love what you're bringing into your poetry lately, how you are performing it, and what I'm feeling is Amber, you can't leave yet.
You're up next. Sorry, darling.
I don't want my dog to shit in the living room.
He won't shit after one poem. Wait, 1 second.
Bianca, you're freaking amazing. Thank you for coming up here. I have a lot to say, but
Wait, it sounds like a dog's gonna
you
shit in the
speak
living
with such
room or something.
power and just real quick, the sense of I'm not done yet. You might have came into me, something might have happened, but I'm not. You haven't seen the best.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet. I'm still coming forward. I'm still coming.
Yeah.
I'm still
For
coming.
real.
That's
Yes.
you, Bianca. So believe that.
Yes. You have a special
Hey,
Well,
baby.
without what?
Who is she? Explain.
Yeah, it was like,
Hold on. Well, we have a very special guest that is coming up to rock the mic. Coming from
2019.
2019 freshman year, right? That's what we call it.
Yeah,
freshman year Poets Underground. Also in the Army, that we share that, so I'm stoked. We just did a little podcast with her for an interview, and we're just so humbly excited to have you on mic again. Amber, please come up and bless the mic.
Freshman year. And in your senior year, you will be our
I
headliner
came in
again.
freshman year and then I dropped out. Like everybody else because it was COVID. All right. Just like last week, or a couple of weeks ago, I was only going to come here for like podcast interviews, but then here I am on the microphone again. Here I am. I
We have
find
peer
myself
pressure
here.
like that.
All right, I'm going to do one poem.
Okay.
And the name of it is How Dare I. I've done this poem here before. I'm going to do it again because I like it. And there's probably some of you that haven't heard it, so enjoy. So how dare I? How dare I wear my flaws like streaming flyers? The shiny material of love's lost wafting around me like so many butterflies whispering. But I like it. I like the sound my soul makes when it meets my pain. It also sounds like raven's wings whistling by overhead. It sounds like gasps and laughter and crying in the wind whistling low and slow through South Alabama pines. It sounds like coyote calls and crackling fires. When pure love meets sincere darkness, the beauty they create is earth-shattering. The way my body breaks is spell-binding. The way my wings crack my flesh and unfurl behind me sound like the rolling thunder of a forest fire. My wings. Do you see them? I hear them crying out behind me. Their crackling, screaming power devours all thoughts. of keeping my feet on solid ground. How dare I wrap those flaming sheets protectively around my flaws, dear Lord, my flaws. Dare I be, I said this word wrong, coquettish? Is that how we say it? Or coquettish? How do you guys say it?
I know neither word.
Coquettish? I said it coquettish my whole entire life. Coquettish sounds like, well, you know. Shall I be coquettish in my codependency, comfortable within my well-earned anger, while being brave yet soft within those pitch-black corridors of my mind? Listen, children. Listen as my wings roar, crackle, and pop. Listen when I say the phoenix is rising. Listen when I say that I dare. Yeah.
Yeah. Amber.
Amber, thank you for coming. While we had time together doing the podcast before this show down here, it was so nice to connect. And what I love about podcasts is one to talk about myself. It's fucking great, right? We're writers, we love it.
Yes.
We're narcissists by nature.
This is true.
But also it gives a moment to kind of take inventory. Why is that my response? And so through that, I think came the realization that actually every single one of you, I would get the honor of knowing from the deepest part to the outer layer, right? So when we make friends or grow relationships that come from inside the vault, it's always coming first from the most honest place. And then later, when you develop like a friendship outside of the vault, you're like, oh, you have like a layered protection too, but you don't meet someone that way. And that's such a cool fucking thing to come into this space and then meet from truth. Yeah, just fuck the bullshit, just right into raw, and then enjoy the person as they find ways to layer themselves to the outside world. So really an honor to be able to do that with you and to, know you from the inside out. Woo! And also thank you for being a headliner during COVID. So we started brief history. We started in 19. It was the summer of 19 that Aubrey bestowed trust in us to have Poets Underground Weekly take place in the Acid Vault. We officially started shows in September, and then shut down with the rest of the world. We followed suit. But that wasn't good enough for us. We wanted community. We remained online. We pivoted, tried to figure it out, became a publishing company, got everyone in a book, tried to make some money for our friends. But you headlined during that time when we were so desperate for community and connection. And it's so counterintuitive to be pulled apart, right? So staying in community, staying in tribe is so important, and having people that were willing to go deep at such a scary and confusing, mysterious time was kind of hard to find, really. And you honored your Tuesday night. You had your headline coming up, though. It was not how you imagined. It was not on the stage. It was a platform of 50 very confused, scared faces who just needed something to commiserate with. Yeah, so we look forward to having you back in person as a true headliner in January 2023, not in the Upside Down. Thank you for coming out tonight. Woo! I'm so glad everybody that is here and dedicated and committed to community and sharing this honestly you're celebrated for just as you are and for exactly what it is that you need to process and bring up to the stage. So thank you, Amber. Your dog may take a shit now. Thank you, Bianca. Next on the stage is Rudy G.
Is he trapped still?
I'm trapped still. I'm always trapped. Brain screams, social prophylactics and social scenes. What's new among the bold and the boss's mind today? From moments to moments, words pass time in my mind in the blink of an eye, that even with my pen in my hand could not be as fast as my unknowing mouth, and the aftermath of it all to follow. And into the future, the new wave junkies will find their way out of their homes one way or another, and you'll see we'll all be at a loss then. Alas, we are the ones who shall reckon our destination's destination. Destiny's destination is a riddle and a rhyme at the edge of time with only one goal in mind, to not be alone. And actually be happy, laugh, dance, joke, make funny, life, bring inner light to life, life on the daily. Though I know it's not always the proper frequency, all too frequently it's deception that everybody's always on the eye for. Watch that, you see how I did that? Now would you look at that? Wow, Daddy-o. Now I see why I have to wear these social prophylactics. Some COVID talk. COVID, social prophylactic. I thought that was kind of...
That was clever.
Yeah. And I am trapped still.
Oh.
You can't turn down your full color visual volume. I look away, for it is vile and violent. I sit silent, trapped again. Am I sad in this cage, knowing only life in this cage, knowing that all is to be viewed, seen, heard, felt, touched, but is not? For I am but a cow awaiting the slaughter that will come from the home that I built for the slaughter of my very own life, for I am the sacred cow and the man killing him. I am that kind of mind. I am the teeth that bite. I am the words that fight. You can't turn down your full color visual volume. Visuals have no knobs to control volume, to turn pitch high and low like everything that's warranted, bought and sold and seen on the silver screen as a teen dream beauty queen, USA and your virgin lands, your endless, boundless highways of possibility for an anti-man. That with what you present, bad man, sad man, I've been you at the edge of forever, bound to eternity, dying or wanting to, so full of life cycle like me. Maybe I'm unlimited. Ouch, no. Soon to find my limitations is ouch, and then exhale. But all the while, more cows, more life, more cows. You got them all lined up in a row, so what are you gonna do now with all your sacred cows? For you so on high and almighty, living as the mayor in Carne Asada society, please don't kill me, is red in the eye, as red as raw meat on a hook. Please don't kill me. To forever end my life in this current plane of this material plane of existence. I'm one step on closer to the microchip age. I am still human. I'm still alive, and this pen is sharp and pointed, all breath held up to the sky. You see, I'm just another guy. No king, no hero, not much. It's just more cosmically timed reality, keeping myself amongst you. Oh, shoot. It's just more cosmically timed reality, weighing me down to earth, keeping myself amongst you as I walk every day, nowhere, always trapped.
Wow. That's a fucking...
Thank you. I need to work on it.
No, that's great. It's a good fucking poem.
Rudy, you're a freaking journeyman. That's what you are. I feel like
Oh,
you put,
you're just
you put
being
your
totally-
experiences and how you think into your poetry in such a unique way, and I think I gotta ask: is it scattered a lot in your head, and that's why and then you put it on the paper and form it like that, or is it?
It's just that I live with a strange idea of what reality is. I don't know if it's fate, destiny, or if I design my own fate or my own destiny. But it's somewhere in between where I feel like these things are there all the time, and I'm not sure how to do it, so I just write it down.
Oh yeah. Well,
He's highlighting in between timelines.
Yeah, and that trap poem. Oh man, it's good.
I did that for Trevor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trevor Wing.
finally back.
Trevor who?
We love Trevor Wing.
Oh, he's here now. Oh.
Trevor!
You actually came.
And I heard he gives really good hugs.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We
do
have to wait
Trevor.
for Trevor first.
All right. Well, there's somebody more important that comes up first, and that's Robbie. Robbie Hamill.
Robbie, hello!
Wow.
Did that feel good, Robbie?
I was talking to Will back there. I wasn't ready.
Will's next.
He's
Okay.
ready.
My name is Robbie. I'm gonna do one poem for you. I'm trying
I
to.
hate when you do one.
I'm trying to. You gotta keep them wanting, you know. I'm trying to memorize poetry lately.
Yes.
This
Okay.
one I don't have very well, so I'm gonna like semi-cheat. But
That's fun.
Yeah.
I also want to mention before I start some promotion, I guess, if you will. I'm teaching a class in
Yeah.
the middle of December.
Yeah.
It costs some dollars.
Doll hairs.
I don't know how much dollars I get from it. I didn't ask because I was so excited when someone told me I get to teach a class I get to design. I don't know how many of you are on that wavelength. If I taught college courses, was a lecturer, I would be teaching comp and rhetoric for 15 years and then hoping to get tenured and maybe teach a creative writing course. So it's pretty amazing to just get a class. Anyways,
Yeah.
What's the
Talk-
Yeah.
Is it like
talk,
straight white?
it's about poetry. No.
Straight white.
I'm
What?
going to go over a deep history of poetry to this point. But
Wow, where is it? Let me go.
just talk to me afterwards. But okay, so I'm going to do this poem, A Chair.
Yes.
But first, do y'all know who Aristotle is?
Yes.
Aristotle, as you know, was the emperor of France for about 1,000 years. They cut off his head, of course, at the Revolution. They took his head and put it up in the Louvre. His body, they sent to the United States. The universities around the United States studied it about 100 years. They got bored. And then the Episcopal Church spotted it. They cut up the body into slices. And that's the last we heard about it. This poem is called A Chair. A chair. The important thing is faithfulness in a chair. To trust where your rump is going. It needs to be sturdy, but also gentle. You want your spine to feel like a flower stalk, and the chair like the fine soil, deep, but also very giving. It ought not to be too comfortable. A lot of people get this wrong about their chairs. Comfort is the sticky place where dreams hang on, and chairs are not for sleeping. The ideal chair is where comfort meets production, or, as I like to think about it, where the ass can settle seriously. I prefer wood without any cushions of any kind, but it needs to be designed by some ridiculous creator who can somehow make hard planks soft on your body. Maybe that's not possible, but I've sat in some that come close.
Uno más. Bravo. Buenísimo. Buenísimo. Uno más.
He's such a smart dude. He's such a brilliant writer.
Wicked smart.
He's wicked smart.
Wicked
Robbie.
smart.
He's wicked smart.
These classes you speak of that cost some dollars, you don't know your profit from, where might that be? How could people sign up?
Be at Liberty Station. There's a website. I don't even know. You gotta talk to me. I'll figure that out.
It's San Diego Writers Inc.
Yeah.
Robbie is officially one of the professors there, so he's been signed on. He's been, signed. It's $10.99. He's booked. He pays taxes and all.
Oh shit.
That would be a class worth taking. Robbie is just one of those
Yeah.
individuals that getting to know him as a friend is really dedicated to the craft of learning in and of itself, and is very knowledgeable, trusted, devil's advocate type, educated, where you could go to him really with any question, and if he doesn't know it, he'll say so, but if he does, it always is that, and has several ways of looking at something and then meeting you for where you might be heading. So, yeah, we appreciate you just as a person in conversation, so I'm sure anybody that were to take that class would get a lot from it, as you've dedicated so much of your time to that. Thank you. And thank you for your poems, Robbie. We always
Robbie.
appreciate you. Truly, yeah. How do you plan? There's so much double meaning. You came close to that chair once can mean so many things, though I think most people would reckon to think it's about relationship, right? Or about like the longing of coming close to something that you desire. So
It's
so
about
smartly
chair.
done. Nah, that's not true, Robbie. We want it to mean more, damn
You're
it.
deeper than that.
You mean more than that.
Well, they can see through you, buddy.
Sonny, what about
Look at
a
that.
toilet though? 'Cause it's
Could be
throne.
a toilet. A throne.
I'll give her a chair.
Yeah, thanks, Mary Jo. So you were hanging with Will, and it's Will's turn now. Will, to the mic. We're happy to have you.
Will.
Come up.
What's up, Will?
I just have one tonight. This poem's called Still, so here I go. I had already inserted you in visions of the small joys in life, tinier than your frozen fingers. Grasping at nothing, I filled your palm with my pinky, hoping you'd curl around it as if you still lingered. I poked your cheek, expecting it to bounce back, like proofed bread dough. Your cheek didn't inflate, new as the flesh but not fresh. It was proof you were dead though. How do you mourn a loved one, celebrating what was instead of wallowing what won't? But not a second was lived. What do I do with these visions of you? I had so much to give. First and last time, I'm glad to have you still, head pressed against my left breast. It's everything, you're everything, but now everything's laid to rest.
Hell yeah, Will. Thank you, Will, for sharing that very deep poem, and just as important as life, it's death, and we all have our different ways to mourn and cope and deal with the death of a lost one. I mean, I'm sure that everybody in this room has maybe experienced or seen somebody that they love go through the experience of mourning a loved one dying, and it ain't fun, and it ain't like. Some people will say it has to be like this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and that's never the case. That's never the case. It's not a manuscript or a how-to mourn, a death of a loved one. And the real truth is it's just as beautiful and it's necessary to you to go through it the way that you need to accept it and to heal and to move on and to maybe not move on and to really just feel yourself in that moment. So thank you for sharing that.
Tell it.
And we appreciate you.
Hey, you can call him William Tell.
All right. Well, finally, I get to introduce a very a good friend of ours. Really stoked that you're back, brother. Come and bless the mic for a very well time. And Trevor Wing, come on up.
Dude, Trevor and I got jobs at the same time. It's true. Right after my feature, I disappeared.
Continue to show the fuck up. What's your
Yeah, why the fuck did you start?
Y'all got jobs at the same time, Trevor. Why the fuck is Rudy?
Because I'm your new neighbor, that's why.
Thank you,
Good to be
Rudy.
back, guys. It could suck. It could just. It could hurt me up. It could fucking suck though. All right. Shout out to Tam the Artist again for headlining. So middle school was probably the most awkward time of my life. Hormones, first boner, like all this stuff that goes on, and everything is under a microscope. Everybody's constantly talking shit. So this is about middle school, particularly middle school dances. All right. Middle school dances, very weird concept. For children who just learned about fucking in a dark place and play songs about fucking. The dark place is usually a miniature multi-purpose room or library with cobwebs slipping down ceilings like silk dresses slipping down a woman's shoulders. The dark place smells like menstrual blood and ball sweat, like the birth of B.O. These kids just started smelling bad yesterday and we packed them all in one room like sardines. She didn't wear a tank top because she hasn't mastered the technique to keep razor bumps away from her armpits. He wore that
can of Axe body spray because he doesn't know that he smells like gasoline fumes after a certain point. He's unleaded. She is taller than every box she's... She's taller than every boy she's danced with. He is wearing compression shorts, so his erection is invisible under his pants. The chaperones are teachers that probably pre-gamed in the parking lot with Pop-Off vodka and pop brownies. They are aware of the hell they will soon be entering. The bad kids smoke weed out of a big pen. I'm sorry, it's a Papermate pen, blue ink, and soon the bathroom smells like shitty weed and burnt plastic. A girl really has to go poo but is afraid to take a shit because there are other girls in the bathroom doing their makeup for the dance and they will most definitely smell it if she takes a shit. And then she will be known as Shit Girl and none of the boys will like her. So she will settle for a painful and bloated stomach and quite possibly her first kiss from the mouth of a boy whose breath smells like Mountain Dew and Icebreakers mints because this is what she wants. A boy is so aroused after dancing with a girl that he goes to the bathroom and tells his friends he's going to take a shit but actually masturbates to curb the Hiroshima level hormones fueled by... Oh man.
Do it!
Fueled by hormones he's experiencing and takes matters into his own hands and wipes the tiny drops of semen into the thin public school toilet paper, but it just makes the toilet paper stick to his hands and he can't get it off without water, but he can't go to the sink and risk his friends seeing his semen and toilet paper covered hands because they'll call him names like Edward Jizzerhands, so he stuck his hands in the toilet, washed the toilet paper and sperm cells from his hands, and there was no soap left, so he just really didn't wash his hands, and now he's slow dancing with a girl, clutching her close with his hands, and she has no idea just had cum-crusted toilet paper stuck to them. Oh, the secrets we keep from the ones we love. Everyone is afraid of one another. Everyone is embarrassed, but nothing has even happened yet.
Wow.
Every single girl thought they would leave the dance with a boyfriend who respects them. Every boy thought they would get a hand job behind the school after the dance. Only one girl left with a boyfriend. They broke up a week later. Only one boy got a hand job. He came after 5 seconds. Both have stories to tell. Both will vote for president one day. We all grow up. The boys and girls are now men and women that go to work parties. Every single woman thinks they will leave the party with a boyfriend who respects them. Every single man thinks they will get a hand job behind the office building after the party. We never really grow up. Thank you.
Forever!
No one else is gonna write that down. We just wrote.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, like never.
Alright. Should I do one that's like sad, or should I do one that's like kind of fucked up? Hey, all right.
Whatever you need.
Well, I don't know. This isn't happy, but we'll come to.
Pay to play.
Yeah. Okay.
Play with our emotions.
Oh. All right. I want my life to be like an Instagram reel, a video collage of moments of me smiling while biting my tongue off to the side while I'm at the summit of some beautiful hike while soft yet upbeat EDM music accompanies me while I look at the camera and act coy like I didn't know it was there, and I might even throw up a hang loose sign because I'm just so fucking connected to the flow of the universe, you guys. I want to be dumb enough to believe that some God has my back or that stars are looking out for me based on their position in the sky, and I want to be one of those people that have never read poetry except for on Instagram who call every Taylor Swift album iconic and original after only hearing the single on Pandora, but not even the premium Pandora, just the shitty free one. I want to be like one of the people in the back of my high school yearbook that had a 5.0 GPA and were in National Honor Society and got into Stanford where they majored in applied mathematics with a minor in physics or some other field, and I want to abbreviate all of these majors and minors and put them in my Instagram bio next to a graduation cap emoji with the years I graduated next to them. I want to be like the Stanford people who called me a loser for smoking weed and drinking in high school, but then do it in college because it's such a fucking vibe now, and apparently it wasn't 2 years ago. I want to be like one of my friends who's married with 3 kids, even though we're 27 years old, who golfs on Sundays after church and has a wife who cooks dinner every night, but not Friday or Saturday night because Friday is pizza night, and Saturday is go out to a sit-down restaurant night, and I want to return from the restaurant, put my kids to bed, have 2-minute-long missionary sex with my wife where I experience an orgasm, and she goes and finishes herself off with the shower head I just installed while my semen flows out of her vagina and filters through the drain. I want to be everyone and everything I'm not at any given moment, and that is my curse. Thanks, everybody.
Damn. Wow, so much semen.
Lots of cum tonight, sorry guys.
Good job, Trevor.
Keep it coming, y'all. I'm joking.
So, the middle school poem, is there, were you a character in that poem, or?
Yeah, I smell like menstrual blood.
Okay.
Yeah, boy! Yeah! Yeah!
Calling your mom.
Yeah! She's calling your mom right now.
So first I'm gonna praise you, and then I'm gonna tell a story about a middle school dance.
Oh shit.
But first to praise you, just as being your friend and also just being a witness to your art and how you really display yourself and your need to convey the covert to the overt, right? I really imagine just like all these lights flashing through and you're like the ultimate observer of a singular moment that for most would just be fleeting. It would just go by, it would mean nothing, but it means so much because you feel so much. And you take it and you're able to just dissect it apart and bring it into something that is so relatable and means so much while meaning nothing at all at the same time, except for a laugh, but then there's a heartbreak. You know exactly when to pause, so that we all pause for a second and go, you know, and it's so needed, Trevor. You have such a particular style that is so smart and so good. So I'm so glad to have you back. Now for a story. So I went to Catholic schools my whole life. I was adopted by a Catholic family. And I was so fucking excited to go to another school for a 6th grade dance. It was Blessed Sacrament. I went to Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. And we were bussed over to go to it. And I bought this like dress from Hot Topic that looked like Elvira. Like it came down, it was velvet, it was like skinky. It was the whole thing, but I had no tits for it. I'm like fucking 12, you know? But I had this big crush on Bud Catino. First and last name.
What up, Bud?
What up, Bud Catino?
You got Bud Azzarino back there.
I got Bud Azzarino. Big ass upgrade. So the night before, me and my friend were going through like no shit, just like Bot magazine, and we're like, how the fuck are we gonna fill out the tits? Like this dress does not even fit me right. It's weird, you know. And so my mom went and bought jelly because I was like, I really want PBJs the rest of the week, Ma. So she got jelly. We got sandwich bags. We froze them overnight. I got new tits. It was basically implants.
Chicken cutlets.
I went to that fucking thing, the cheapest Dolly Parton ever. I had spray on tan, I had sun into my hair, I pressed on nails, I had jelly tits. I was ready to fucking get me out, you know? The dance goes on.
We didn't know we were gonna get this tonight.
Bud seriously shows up to this dance in a Hooters shirt. It had like fucking on it, you know? And I'm waiting the whole fucking night. We played the game. I'm like going to his friends. My friends are going to his friends. I'm going straight to his friends. Finally, I'm going to him. I'm like, I want to fucking dance. Like, the fuck? And it's the last dance. It's a Selena song. And out of just total peer pressure and like pity, he asked me to dance. And I'm on cloud 9. And we're dancing around the room, and he's like silly and spins me out and spins me back in, and my fucking tit bursts. It is no longer frozen. It is no longer frozen. It burst. There is jelly over both of us. The whole fucking room.
What is this? I don't know. I don't know.
Life, you guys. I deflate.
I don't know
I
what this
deflate
is.
on the fucking site. And I don't know what the fuck to do. So I run away, I go across the streets by a Blockbuster. I call my mom from a payphone, I hide in a bush, and I fucking leave. But really, some of us are gonna jerk off behind the building. Some of us are gonna fucking, you know, like fall in love and we think we're gonna be in a committed thing. And some of us are just one titty busted jelly. That was me, my friend. Yes, that was it. Thank you for reminding me.
Dude, this is classic. This is on film.
I have a story too for 6th grade. Actually, I don't because I didn't go to a fucking 6th grade dance. What the fuck is this shit? I didn't know damn dance. I remember playing wall ball behind the handball courts and going home with welts on my back because all the freaking like 7th graders that get one freaking
Stop.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't get no fucking dance.
Just remember Tam the artist.
Soft boy, mumble, come bless the mic. Well,
Soft boy. Soft boy like.
Sarah's not here either? Damn.
Soft boy.
Jack.
The man.
Come on, bless the mic, brother.
Our December headliner.
December.
Dude, he is the Christmas gift in waiting.
That's me. Pardon my attire, I gotta officiate a funeral after this.
He doesn't mean that.
I read this one kind of recently, but a good friend of mine, who I work with, actually came out, and I think he can relate to it. So this is a set of instructions for a useless task.
Nice.
All right, here's the scoop, Captain Kangaroo. You, me, and the lonesome cadaver who was once Elvis Presley are gonna amble on over real slow like in this Continental. Driver's gonna take us over to the grave of Sammy Davis Jr. so the corpse king can knock a few back with his old pal. This is gonna be a bit of an operation. So let's get a few things straight. He's gonna sit between us, and we can't let him fall, or else he might break something. Poor guy's tibias and tongue blew away in a strong gust the other day. When we get there, we gotta get kicked down a 10 spot to whoever's working the door so the paparazzi don't hear about it. Sammy's all the way at the top, and he ought to be waiting there for us, because the office called out ahead of time. Of course, the poor fella can't actually do any of the drinking himself, so we're gonna have to help him out. I'm gonna bust his jaw open with a pry bar, and you pour the booze down his throat. And when I say take him up, I mean get it off the table, and as long as we keep them together, they ain't gonna rot. As long as we complete all the necessary steps in the necessary order, we're gonna be just fine, okay? We're gonna be just fine. We're gonna show up, shut up, and get paid. You're gonna meet me here tomorrow in the same spot, and we're gonna run it over and 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 over again, and then we're gonna split, okay? And when I need some light, don't you dare get it in my fucking eyes. And then I got another one, I think.
Please.
Let's see here. This one's kind of sentimental, so. Advice in the shape of a fist, falling like daggers from heaven, poised to render null the enemies of an angry and unforgiving God, swift but already picking up speed, checks in early to the Motel 6 up behind my rib cage, and folds my bed sheets before it checks out, and I've never been more thankful. As I collapse, the lines between myself and the coarse black gravel, creaking live oaks, dandelions, and the wine dark sky are blurred, indistinguishable from the expanse of everything. Napping incredibly heavy on us, somewhere between a sharp involuntary breath and the blink of an eye, all of our hearts stop all at once, and at the interval before she pumps again exists the cessation of it all, the nothing included by the parameter of that which exists outside of perfection. The wind, having left my body, moves with the grace of Fred Astaire, and for once, I'm happy to not bleed anymore.
Well, you can catch more of how Jack likes to bless the mic in December. One of our next future headliners. So thank you so much for blessing the mic, Jack.
December, baby, it's all you.
Also,
Don't get cold.
another future
Whatever you want.
headliner. Come bless the mic, Miss Ashley.
Ashley. Artemis.
All right, okay. I'm sure it happens. Thanks. These women, their faces and all the places, my own fixations, my pain, my complaints, and though those still remain, it's insane to think that we're not the same, and it's just a few things have gone differently. I wouldn't be here today to say it's quite simply not okay. Zan Zendagi Azadi. If you're not familiar, please educate yourself on what's happening in Iran. It is a revolution, and it will have fallout all around the world. Okay. And I'll keep repeating that and whatever else I need to. Thank you until they kill everyone in Iran or until Iran's free. Sorry if you've heard that before. Here she is, as if on cue. I'm just about at my line and hanging on by a few last threads, so thankful to be surrounded by friendly faces and voices that seem to say that they see it, expressions that shift as if they feel it. I don't have to do much to know that I'm in good company and safe and seemingly free to be me, and still I only hope that these smiles and hugs continue throughout all of this and then into the next thing and the next and the next, until maybe I no longer have to guess at who thinks what or if I'm seen as more or less. I just want to be left alone and they just want what's best. I'm skilled at being lonely, and I'm tired of all the rest. A dull ache, broken up by daggers. The organs twist and their contents churn, curdling the particles of my being until I wish I never was. Like a bull, my hoof scuffs up dust behind me and my gaze narrows straight ahead. The future set to dead. The clock ticks on to never and forever, infinite and futile. Muscles twitch and nerves rile, pondering when rest might last just a little while. How precocious of me, that of my worth I inquire. How presumptuous to think that I offer value others might maybe desire. How bolden and brazen that my life I try to protect, and how dare I go about my day when others would just deflect or disconnect, and how dare I try to patch the holes that decorate me when tattered scraps are much preferred to be seen and stubborn as a blood stain soaked into the carpet. You'll have to rip the whole thing up if you choose to pretend to forget. Still, trace drops have already seeped deep into the foundation. Arrange the puzzle pieces as you wish. With false givens, you'll never balance the equation.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for coming up here and being raw, real, and expressing what really believes or what means to you and your beliefs, and always coming up here and honestly educating us for some things that we should pay attention to, that we should also try to believe in and see what is going on, and just bringing your own touch into the underground. So thank you, Ashley. I got one to share for y'all.
Yeah. Also, buy a drink from our bartender.
Oh yeah, let's give it up for our bartender in the back. Woo! She makes a mean Shirley Temple. I heard they're really good.
For almost 2 years.
For almost 2 years, that's all I've been drinking. So this one, I've never shared this poem, and I don't know if it's done yet, but I gotta speak about the angel in my life. So this one's called Angel on Hell's Highway. I've been stuck on a southbound train to nowhere. Picked me up right around Inferno Square. Smoke rings rising up in the open air, provoking prayers. Never been hopeless or scared. I'm just a lonely passenger with a broken chair. Screaming at the conductor like, when are you gonna take these burdens that my shoulders bear? Take a look down the aisle, and a woman's laugh says she twirls her locks of golden hair, trying to hide her wings like she stole a pair. Some say she's wild, but when she smiles, all I see is a solar flare. Grab on to those handrails, baby. It's going to be a toughest trip that you've ever took. Crisp hits of wickedness couldn't get me to shove, but instead I've got pushed. Been sitting and waiting for a man to actually see my heart's an open book. I've met my fair share of demons, thieves, and crooks. But when you came on board, I saw a soldier underneath that hood. I know. With already enough on my plates, the next stop's a station near some random place where evil has laid waste. I'm unable to catch a break. A couple of known entities have just boarded the train. Fear, greed, and rage, depression and disgrace, along with pride, envy, and fate. A wild flock of eights playing the game with the intentions of now knowing my name. Rattle my chains, and the descendants of Cain are now present in the so-called altered reality state. Okay, so every morbid phrase that makes its way onto every hole in my brain, bordering the line of becoming insane and testing my faith. But damn it, I am certainly never afraid. Free from any mental restraints, call me a reincarnation of Alexander the Great, fighting against every malice, banter, repate. So I gotta slow down the pace to not get caught up in this deathly daze, riding this train till I hear the screeching of the brakes, but yet again, I might be already too late. And even then, the angel sits there and waits, She stares at every distorted face like she sees right through the masks and calling them out for what they are, catching a glimpse of her grace as they departed the car and vanished off into the fog. She broke off a piece of my rotten heart and jumped out the next stop as the doors closed and the engine begins to stop. I was blown away about how she silenced my demons and took them and told them to get lost. Love found me, I was deep in the dark. I followed that angel off that train. She put the pep back in my step and gave me reason to walk. One thing that we have to acknowledge, and that I think that Tam brought a real good notion of, is of how love and what love can really do. One, it ain't easy. It's always going to be hard. The real deep down, raw, rugged, true love is hard. And if you don't know that by now, then I'm pretty sure you haven't found it yet, because you haven't been put to the limit to where you have to either choose yourself and your own happiness and how you see the world and your own mental state, and pretty much sacrifice that for something more than yourself. And that's beauty. Like when you find that one person that you can really look for all the sacrifices in life and just see that she's worth it, then that's love, my man. That's just plain and simple. I don't want to get all sappy, but yeah. So I'm in love. So next up, I know. I see what I'm
Steph.
Next up, the mic step. Let's go.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you, everybody. My name is Steph, aka Stash. I wrote this flow a few weeks ago, and I was a little salty or a situation, whatever. Alright, so here it goes. I mean, I should tell you the situation. You know, I had this girl, I had a crush on her, right? And then my homegirl got, you know, all of a sudden she had a crush on her too. So one day I said, oh, she's acting like a bitch. And she told her homegirl that I called her a bitch. So, you know, it's just a little kiss ass moment, but I still got her. So all right. Lately, it's been darker than it used to be, but not darker than I used to see. And the darkest in the parts of me, the hard to see, the hard to flee, can hardly flee, can hardly breathe, can hardly think, forget to eat, forget the weeks, forget in me, forget the sleep. And I could ask if you're getting me, but getting me can never be. I said it clean, but clean it's not. The dirt, the rot, the hurt, the thoughts, the dread in me, be getting me. So we could sit back, kick back, get twag talk, back talk, smack talk, pasts. But even if we had did that, I would smash at that and I would still be stashed. Cause this hobby, it ain't hard for me, it ain't hard to see. This is honesty, and honestly, I would never even wanna be the wannabes that constantly flaunt and taunt on me. I'll be on it, G. I don't even know how to turn off this thing. And every call the monsters bring, I don't even know how to turn off the ring. What a motherfucking setback, but I motherfucking get back, motherfucking get that. Getting high off my own supply, but you don't even need coke to get smoked off of this crack. Wig whack. Drugs are bad, right? Not badder than this ass. And on everything that this has, I'd rather be kissing what I love than a kiss ass.
Coming back with the flaming hot bars. Oh yes, Steph. It is. I forgot. Mention it's good to see you on 2 feet. That's a true blessing. And
Luis.
next up, Luis.
Luis, stick around.
Luis, you here?
Do we have a deal?
Luis. There it is.
Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
good.
have? Okay.
Woo! Or else we'd blow you
Yeah,
up
we'd blow
and get
you
some
up.
fucking were we here when you were here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
not.
not.
Maybe,
Okay.
yeah, we've had someone else host for a while. I think it's our first time seeing you. Welcome,
Okay, here we
and
go.
so happy to have you.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name's Luis, and this is. I read two pieces. They're both prose poems. I wrote one not that long ago, and then I wrote another today. The first one's called I and Another. In the corridor down the street, I saw myself and I was another. It's a long, narrow corridor between the high brick walls of several buildings, which makes for a peaceful walk at night. At the hour when the space is usually empty, I passed in search of myself, not understanding who I am. The whitewashed pavement shone spectrally in the white light of the moon. My footsteps echoed behind me, and I mistook them for another's. I paused for a moment and turned to look, but only my shadow stood on the pavement cast by the overhead street lamp. The shadow was without name or face, yet seemed to look through me. If I moved, it moved. If I raised my hand, it raised the other. I snapped a photograph of it using my camera. The flash of the camera carved a momentary tunnel through the darkness. I imagined what it would be like on the other side of things, looking back at myself, how I would stand in the light of the street lamp, lost in my own center. When the other moved, I would have to move. When they snapped the photograph, the flash of the camera would be incinerated. For the shadow of a man, any moment might be their last. This next one. This next one is called Submarine, and I wrote it earlier. The thing about staring too long at the sky is that negative space stays illumined in your eyes afterward. Looking around, you'll discover the absence of sky everywhere. Walk and you'll stumble and fall, not understanding where you are. But it's the greatest joy looking through the sky roof into infinity. When a bird passes by, there's nearly always a song in its throat. When time slows so much, I feel I'm in the middle of a pause. Birds swim languidly across the transparent glass. Vibrations of silence ripple through the air. And suddenly, I'm no longer in a room, but a submarine at the bottom of the sea. The cabin rocks, swayed by the imperceptible sway of the waves. Everywhere I look, there is absence and the void. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Louise. Absence in the void. I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've heard you. Anthony and I, we had a sick kiddo for 2 weeks with the flu. Man, that was bad. Between the two of us, we have 5 kids, so often we do miss, and we're so grateful to Robbie and Dennis and Trevor when they pick up in our absence and host, but it was really nice to hear you. And yeah, I just couldn't help but feel a little bit of the camaraderie of what you're conveying in your poetry, to be like that disassociated feeling when you're around other people, but there's that heavy loneliness, even in just taking a photograph where you just feel like it's a disassociated moment that means more, and it's empty and it's sad, and everything else just kind of just turns to its solitude in that. You really convey that well, so thank you for the share. Next up to the mic, we have Al. Are you still here?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What's that?